We'll just answer this real quick.
Yeah, sure.
You want to go first? All right, so I have one more year of college after this. I'm completing my junior year, and I'm studying computer science. So that's me. How about you, Blake?
Yeah, so I still have 2 years actually. So I'm studying accounting and I will be a senior in the fall, but I'm going an extra year to get 150 credits and try to get the CPA. So 2 more years for me and then out into the accounting world.
And our streaming schedule might change once he gets there.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see where we are when that happens.
And yeah, thanks again, Tony. We know you've been here since you're one of the first here, so on the channel. So yeah, we always, thank you for coming into these streams and supporting us from Hawaii. I think is that you said that's where you're from. So
awesome. Yeah, and Tony, thank you so much again. Just apologies that we couldn't answer that question, and just a warning for all you guys. I mean, Tony, I feel bad. He paid $5 to ask us a question about a player we didn't know. If it's a day 2 or day 3 type player, not one of those players who's getting constantly mocked into the first round, there's a good chance that we have not done the requisite research that we feel we need to do to talk about him. So from that standpoint, we're not just going to give you an off the cuff answer. So I would just recommend just ask the question in the chat, and if we see it, we'll just say we didn't watch it. Don't pay $5. I still feel bad for Tony. And thank you, Tony, for all your support. These questions are funny. I mean, possibly, but I mean, the odds of that happening are like 1 in 100. So like, it's like I'm pretty comfortable with trying to learn and figure out my computer science life than expect something that's nearly impossible.
Yeah, and I think also with that too is kind of like just the job security at ESPN. It's kind of fallen off from where it was. Like it dominated just the sports world, but there's a lot of other really, really good networks out there, and there's YouTube too. So like that's kind of there's a lot more football and media takes and so it's tough. But yeah, no, that'd be cool. Definitely. I mean, it's ESPN.
Yeah.
Like that's obviously the goal. That's the dream, right?
Right. And I mean, look at Grant. Grant's created his own like TV network here on YouTube that streams 49ers 24/7. So I mean, there are other ways to do it, but like I'm definitely comfortable. Like what Grant's achieved though is just phenomenal, and the opportunities he's given for a lot of people like me and Blake is we just really appreciate it. If there was one more question, one sec, that was just about a similar topic, real quick. Oh, I mean, yeah, that's the dream again, but it's like, I mean, I'd love at some point if I can improve my skills in terms of machine learning and all of that to get into some sort of data-driven department with one of these sports teams. But damn, that's mega competitive, and there's a lot I need to improve and learn before I get that. But that's a wild dream on the side.
Yeah, lots of good questions in here. I did want to put this up. So yeah, like you guys don't have to donate to us. You know, we obviously appreciate it a ton, and that can't be stated enough. But we have been reinvesting a little bit. So big news, we're going to get the StreamYard, one of the premium versions, probably, I don't know how much it is, like $20 a month or something, with the money that we've been making from these streams. And it's just going to improve the quality basically. So, yeah, we are trying to reinvest. We did get a new intro. We, someone
spent $10 on it.
Yeah, we reinvested some of our money into there. So yeah, definitely thank you so much for the support.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're definitely just trying to use it honestly to try and make her content better. We know that we're well aware that our video quality isn't always the best, and we're well aware that we do have a lot to improve on, but I promise you that we are going to get better at it. And we appreciate all of you that have stuck with us in spite of the fact that those things aren't the best. So thank you. This is actually a hilarious question. I loved it.
Yeah, this one, thank you, Matt. Appreciate it. Hopefully they treat me well as they treated you. And then there was one other thing. This is more for Vish, but who would
Yeah,
win
I'm not
the
answering
fight?
this.
Rick
Those
Code
are
or
both great
Jason
guys.
Francie?
Those are both great guys. I don't know what happens. I don't know what kind of rage those two guys got. They're two of the nicest, most down to earth, humble people I've met. I think that's a great question on the next time they do a show together. I think they do
Yeah,
one every
exactly.
Thursday.
Next round table.
Yeah. And then Garrett, yeah, you're a CS major too, about to graduate. That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's quite the grind for a major. That's a lot of work. But yeah. There were a couple more. Yeah, Jamal is kind of funding us. Jamal is the man, but you'll also see Jamal. We've been in contact with him. He'll be coming on in a show with us. So
very soon.
all of you guys that love his comments in the comment section, because he knows a lot about sports and he definitely knows what he's talking about. We'll be able to talk with him on a live show soon. So that'll be really cool.
We could probably do like one more question.
I think there were a couple that we missed. I think that a couple of them are funny. There's one about you and the 49ers that I want to pull up just because we're a PG network. Blake and Vish Sports, we're for children.
Yeah,
PG
there was
network.
a question like, do I hate the Niners deep down?
So for the butt kicking. Let me say the butt kicking that Kaepernick gave you guys.
So those were some dark days watching that Niners defense just be absolutely insane. And I never liked Kaepernick. I really didn't think he was that great. Like, I thought the media propped him up to be way better than he was. Because every time I watched him play, it was very rarely, besides the one game, I think it was game 1 of a season, like 2013 or something, Anquan Bolden had 200 receiving yards, but it was always zone read or Kaepernick, the pocket would break down and he would just get out and make a play. And that's how he beat us. And that was more frustrating than like if he was like picking us apart, like running a really good scheme and like doing it that way. Instead, it was like the gimmick zone read that still doesn't really work as efficiently as it was or as it did at that time. And no more Eric Walden for us. So those issues have gone away. But yeah, but the thing is, the Niners weren't that great in the 2010s. They had 2 outliers. Not 2. They had a couple of really, really good seasons. They had a few really good seasons, but they did have some. I mean, they were really bad. Like they were.
Yeah, they were either the best of the best or the worst of the worst.
Yeah, so that's where I was like, all right, watching CJ Beathard get the work on Monday night, like that was pretty cool. And then this past season, watching the Richie James show, I guess that's the best way we could put it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Blake was probably right on Kaepernick, and I could see as an outside fan when Ron Jaworski says that he has potential to be the greatest quarterback ever, and Blake just watched Colin Kaepernick run for 181 yards, and Eric Walden's pointing out to his linebackers coach, I went this way. No, Eric, that was your fault. Like, you messed that up, but I'm just kidding. But the point is, Colin Kaepernick was a special talent, and I think as a Niners fan, like now, like 8 years back, like that was when I was 11, 12 years old. Like, man, the Niners hadn't been good my entire life. I loved walking into middle school with my Michael Crabtree jersey and my Niners sweatshirt. You remember that Michael Crabtree jersey? But I'd walk in with there just because they were good for a little while. And Kaepernick did some special things. Like, he won 3 road playoff games. He won an NFC championship on the road after being down 17-0. Like, looking back, maybe he was a little
some good
overhyped.
moments. He had some good moments.
Yeah, he did some really special stuff.
In the brightest of lights, he actually performed pretty well. I will give him that. Like, he didn't shy away from the moment. That is one thing you can credit him for. But yeah, man, I don't know. I just wasn't the biggest fan.
Yeah, I mean, you gave us $5 for this. And you know what? That's because Prime Cam was an MVP level player. I don't think that's anything against Cap, because I think Cap, even how he played in the Super Bowl, that second half of the Super Bowl was pretty big time. It's just Cam was an animal, man. Cam was special. I still think.
You go on.
I still think Cam has something.
Interesting. I just want to point this out, but a team that had Ted Ginn as their number 1 receiver went 15-1.
It was no. Was that Ted Ginn?
It was Ted Ginn. Yes. I mean,
Wasn't it? I thought it was Philly Brown, Jericho Cotchery, and Greg Olson.
No, but they had those guys too. But Ted Ginn was like the leading receiver on that team.
Really? So, I think wasn't it Olson?
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say Olsen, but he was more of a tight end. I'm just saying, like, wide receiver wise.
Oh, the number one wide receiver on the team. Okay. Understand.
Was
Teddy Ginn.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, it was tough seeing what happened to Mike Remmers.
2 times in a row in the Super Bowl.
If Mike Remmers is playing in the Super Bowl and starting at right tackle, you're getting the work. I'm sorry. That's just how it's been.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick Mahomes knows it better than anybody.
Running for his life.
Right.
There
were a couple ones we can answer real quick.
One thing I wanted to put up. So big shout out to Abdul here. Big fan of the show. He has a YouTube channel, Shy Bear Blitz, and then he is also starting another. It's like more of a podcast. I think it's called Real Talk, but we'll definitely try to bring it up again. But yeah, definitely go follow him. Big Bears fans, and then they're gonna talk like other NFL stuff too. So definitely go give them a follow and watch and listen. I think it's mainly podcast, but listen to some of their content. It's gonna be good stuff.
They're going to be firing. Check it out.
Yep. Just want to put that out there.
Maybe we can take one more. You want to just do this real quick? I mean, I don't know how we met each other, but we've known each other since like elementary school.
It was grade school. There was this again, Keith Murray.
Keith.
People thought Cap was his equal, and as a Niner fan, I had to tell them he's not Cam.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes. You are totally right, Keith. Saying that Colin Kaepernick was ever close to prime Cam is blasphemous, I guess would be the best way of putting it.
What Cam Newton did, even in Auburn, I don't think gets enough credit. Cam Newton took a team that had, I think, only one significant NFL player on it other than Cam Newton, because Michael Dyer never made it to the NFL, and that was Nick Fairley. A starting receiving core that included Darvin Adams, I think, as his number 2 wide receiver, and won a national championship game in the SEC with Auburn.
Yeah, no, that was a hard carry. That was one of the hardest carries college has ever seen. But
single greatest college football season I've ever seen.
There is 2 guys, actually. Cameron Artis-Payne, former Panthers running back. He was in the NFL, so let's not downplay that roster here.
Right. I mean, what Cam Newton did was special, and I think people have kind of diminished Cam, but I think right now, prediction, I think Cam Newton is going to win comeback player of the year. I do. I don't think they had any weapons around Cam Newton last year. People made that excuse for Brady. They didn't make those excuses for Cam. They're gonna put that. They're gonna provide that for. They've provided weapons for Cam Newton this year. I still think he's got it. He had 12 rushing touchdowns last year. I don't know why. I've been watching a lot of Cam Newton actually. So this goes beyond just the few throws on Twitter that people see that bounce one, and then they say, "Oh, Cam can't throw." Blah blah blah. All of that, and I think Cam Newton. You better watch out for Cam Newton next year. I mean, we're talking about an MVP level player that's playing for $3 million next year with, I think, incentives that get him up to a decent salary. Or a guy who was a former MVP. He's not an MVP level player.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I meant former MVP. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, his arm is kind of a little shot. That's my only thing. But, yeah, he's definitely not, like, the worst quarterback. But they'll be better this year with him. And, you know, they won't have Damiere Byrd as their number 1 receiver.
So we touched on this earlier in the show.
We'll have a video. Yeah. We'll have a video coming out. And I guess the other thing too, just real quick, like everyone is saying the Jets are taking Wilson, but it's not like completely set in stone. Like I think I guess it's kind of contradicting what I'm saying, but like a lot of the media thinks it will be Wilson, but it's not.
Schefter said it's Wilson. So
yeah.
You can kind of that when he says it, Mort says it, but I mean, maybe it's not Wilson. Who the hell knows? The one thing I'll say, I'll give you the gist of it, is that the smokescreen thing is just it's not a smokescreen, okay? The Niners have not put out any information on Mac Jones. They have not put out any information on Justin Fields. They've not put out any information on Trey Lance. A smokescreen is where you're misleading other teams. I don't think the Niners are actively looking to mislead anybody. The media and people within the league are speculating based on how they know Kyle Shanahan that the pick could be Mac Jones. That's all this is. This is speculation that based on how you know Kyle Shanahan, this is Mac Jones. And for that reason, that's what people are looking at. This whole smokescreen thing, it's not a smokescreen. Don't worry about it. We're all going to find out the real pick on April 29th. But I don't think the Niners are looking to lead anybody astray. They're just doing their job. They're just it's looking at whichever quarterback they want. And people are speculating. When you make this big of a move, people are going to speculate. And people are speculating based on how they know Kyle Shanahan and what kind of quarterbacks he's liked from their conversations with him, that it's Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, not much more to say. Like, exactly what you were saying. I did want to put this up here. Thank you, Kevin, for the 5. Is 49ers drafting Jones the same as Bears falling in love with Trubisky? I'd say no. From all accounts here in the Chicagoland area, like, the Bears fans put a lot of faith in Trubisky. They all loved him in 2018. Now, 2017, there was some cautious optimism. I think the best way to put it would be they didn't have the best situation. He looked a lot better 2018, but now in 2019 and 2018, it was Bears. It was Trubisky this, Trubisky that. There's articles saying he's going to dethrone Rodgers. Never happened. Like, everyone in Chicago defended them with their lives. Like, they died on that hill. If the Niners drafted Jones, I think there would be significant backlash. Now, there would be people that like it, and then there'd be people that don't like it because they want Lance or Fields or insert 5 quarterbacks names. So I don't think it would be like that where, like, they defend Trubisky, like the Bears defended Trubisky religiously. I don't know if the Niners would do that. Niners fans would do that.
I thought, is this question about the fans or is this question about the actual teams? I don't think it is. I saw Colin Cowherd made that comparison today, but I think one thing that's not being taken into account, like, yeah, Trubisky wasn't a very good quarterback. He still isn't like a very good quarterback. I guess he's an okay one, like a guy that can start sometimes and be a backup. I don't know if he's an actual starter, but I think the big issue was Trubisky's situation also sucked. Like, which quarterback has really succeeded in Chicago? The weather is tough to throw the ball in. He didn't have great weapons his rookie year. He's never had great offensive line play. Nagy's not a great play caller. So from that standpoint, whatever you think of Mac Jones, one, I think Mac Jones is better than Mitchell Trubisky coming out of UNC. Although, just like with Mitchell Trubisky, the 1 year starting with Mac Jones is scary. I will say that I just think that Mac Jones is going to come into a situation where he has to be really bad not to succeed. Because worst case scenario, he puts up good numbers just because Kyle Shanahan can manufacture numbers.
Wait, do you mean to tell me that Nick Mullins isn't the best, one of the top 10 best quarterbacks in his first 14 starts? Because those are what the numbers told me.
I mean, the numbers tell you he's top 3.
That was a great infographic.
I mean, yeah, Cam struggled versus the 49ers, but yeah, I think that was more than just Cam. Niners' game plan was pretty phenomenal, and the Patriots receivers are putrid, or at least they were putrid last year.
Mm-hmm.
Anything to add?
No, not really. I mean, we'll talk about Cam more because I think me and you kind of see eye to eye, and it's a little bit against what the media's perception, or what we perceive the media's perception to be.
Yeah, I think that the media has actually been unfairly hard on Cam. But
yeah,
guys, we've hit about an hour, 13 minutes. There's a lot of really, really good questions in here. We'll have to do another Q&A soon because we really appreciate all these questions, and I know that we need to get to them. Appreciate all of you sticking with us. Blake, do you have anything to say before we head out?
One thing, we're going to get Nolan back on here soon, Jamal. I know a lot of you guys miss him. Not just Jamal. We miss him too on the channel. So we'll either get some NBA or NFL, maybe a Q&A with him in here. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for coming out. All the donations, much appreciated as always. And I believe we're going to be streaming this weekend at least once on Saturday or Sunday.
I'll tweet it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, stay tuned for that. And yeah, thank you. Please like, subscribe, all of that. Appreciate all of your support, and we'll see you next time.